What's up, my people? You're not tuned in to me TV. Now, we gonna bring you all the stories about the stories that we need to bring you stories about. You feel me? So that's what we gonna do. Some stories might be good, some stories might be tragic, but hey man, that's how these stories go. I don't make it up. Now we getting into it. You feel me? So before, look, man, bang the like button, bang that subscribe button. You see them on the screen. Yeah, them right there. Hit the like and subscribe, man. Hit that right there. Now we about to get started with our story. Yo, you already know I'm back with another one on Me TV 1.0. If you new to the channel, man, feel free to hit that sub and show some love. And if you been watching and you been sub, man, like and share if you care. You already know, man. Let me know where you watching from. Let me know where you listening from. And look, man, the link to the Cash App is in the description for anybody who want to show love that way. If not, just drop down in the comments and give me a comment so the video can go in the algorithm and it can keep doing what it do. But today, man, we got a sad story. We got a sad story. And when I commentate these stories, some of these things you might agree with, you might not agree with, but for the most part, it's how I choose to narrate it. You feel me? I'm not giving nothing but facts. But I also give my own perspective in certain situations so you could get the full totality of what I'm saying. But anyway, I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you no longer. Let's get on with the story. So we slide into Baltimore, Maryland, man. And Baltimore, Maryland is a very historical place. It's a major city in the state of Maryland. And for some people, working is the only way to survive because they're not willing to go outside of the lines to take chances and sell illegal things or illegal substances. So getting a job is somebody's livelihood, it's somebody's everything. And with these people in the case, Mr. Christopher Harrison, of course, had a extensive criminal record, should I say. And for those of y'all who know, we know how hard it is to get a job when you got a criminal record. So Mr. Harrison, Mr. Christopher Harrison, found him a job, a good paying job. He was 29 years old, a native of Baltimore, Maryland. And he was working his job. It was fine. And when we work these jobs, we got to understand that we're dealing with coworkers. We're dealing with people that we only know due to the fact of these jobs. So some of these people we might not get along with at all. Some people we even dread to come to work with, whether it's managers, whether it's our hiring boss, whether it's just regular normal coworkers that we see every day. So Mr. Harrison, Mr. Christopher Harrison Jr., he had an individual of such that he disliked by the name of David Campbell, 22-year-old David Campbell. And when him and Mr. David Campbell would have words and have altercations and arguments, a lot of the coworkers will just laugh it off or they'll just brush it off. But you never really know how serious one can be when they're making threats in a situation at work or outside of work. If you didn't know that every joke that is laughed off is at least 50% of the truth. So whatever these guys were saying, people around them should have took heed. But one thing I do know is sometimes people don't know how to de-escalate situations. Sometimes people don't know how to have people skills. Now, mind you, these are two adults. They should be able to hash this out, talk it out, and move on like grown individuals. But sometimes these situations needs a little intervening by people that are respectable and people that take your words not too lightly. is what I can say. Because I can say something, if that person doesn't respect me, it goes in one ear and comes out the other. But if that person respects me and I say that same thing, it will be taken in a much better way. And that person might take 100% heed to exactly what I'm telling them. But for the most part, these guys was working together for about, I want to say, a few months, 3 or 4 months. And in this time, the how could I say, the tempers are flaring. The tempers are constantly getting in the way of them working together. So by David always being frustrated and David being a younger guy, David would always vent and tell and talk to the other co-workers, and basically he was looking for an opportunity to where he can settle this whole entire situation, to where he can get it over with. Because anyone who goes to work, they don't want problems at their workplace. But you can have some individuals, especially younger individuals with less responsibility, they could be a bit of a lie while you're at work. They could be not doing work, lazy, always on their phone. It's a multitude of things that you're dealing with when you're dealing with a 22-year-old individual. And mind you, Mr. Christopher Harrison is 29 with a record, and he look at it at this job way different, totally different than the 22-year-old David Campbell. Now, the 22-year-old David Campbell didn't seem like he came from a very, very hard and rough environment, but you never really know. And by Christopher Harrison already having a record for certain things, 22-year-old David Campbell didn't know that this probably wasn't the guy that you wanted to mess with. Now, in his mind, they had such of an altercation to where he verbally told this guy, we're going to fight, we're going to fight. So it was only a matter of time before a situation came about, before these two actually got into a physical altercation. But days went by, weeks went by, and it seemingly died down. But approaching this date of this fatal situation, things have started to reheat themselves due to the fact that David was always seen to be antagonizing Mr. Harrison, Christopher Harrison Jr. Now, let me say this. Some people, especially young guys, they don't know the type of trouble they could get in by constantly antagonizing an individual, especially an older individual. You don't know how serious that this guy might take these things. We don't know exactly what kind of threats was made on the behalf of David Campbell. Some people don't take these things lightly, especially when you're a young individual. We seem to have a carefree attitude, like things can't get serious. And unfortunately, this is one of the stories where things got real serious. So the day arrived where Mr. Christopher Harrison and another co-worker by the name of Scarzini, Mr. David Campbell, and a few other co-workers were sent out on an assignment one day. And this assignment was a delivery assignment. So this assignment required all the guys to be in the truck together. Now, throughout the time being in the truck together, I'm pretty sure some things were said. And before this situation, they had a very heated argument, a very, very heated argument. So after this heated argument, they get in the van together, they go into a delivery. And as they go to the delivery, in the midst of this delivery, the van truck ran out of gas. So as this truck ran out of gas, Mr. Scarzini is a co-worker, and he was paired up with Mr. Harrison to go to the gas station, walk to the gas station after the truck had ran out of gas while the others wait for their return. So Mr. Harrison grabbed the gas can, and Mr. Scarzini also grabbed the gas can and proceeded and headed to the gas station. So upon arrival from the gas station, a crowd had grown in front of the truck. Now, while these guys was going to get gas, Mr. Campbell made it obvious and evident that this was his opportunity to square up, to fight, to ultimately, from his understanding, handle the situation like a man. But who told you that this way was handling it like a man? You talk it out. You come to a common ground and common agreement. Sometimes you have to agree to disagree. And that's just how it goes when you saying handle stuff like a man. But to return to the story, as these guys approach Mr. Harrison and Mr. Scarzini, they approach with gas cans in their hand. And as they approach, Mr. David Campbell approaches Mr. Harrison. And as he approaches Mr. Harrison, he's talking, he's saying what he need to say. And he made it known that he won't fight, he won't square up. Come on, let's go. So he made that evident. And it seems to Mr. Campbell that Mr. Harrison also was on the same exact time. He wanted to fight. So this is a tragic story. As this situation ensued, these guys square up. And Mr. Campbell threw a punch. And as Mr. Campbell threw the punch, Mr. Harrison proceeded to throw gas on him and then set him on fire. As Mr. Campbell is set on fire, running hysterically, frantically all over the place, he then runs next to Mr. Scarzini. And if you're thinking like I'm thinking, yes, Mr. Scarzini was also one of the guys who had a gas can. So you tell me what happened to Mr. Scarzini. He was also engulfed in flames. Now you have two co-workers, two individuals running down the highway, running down the interstate, completely engulfed in flames. Completely. And this is a tragic situation, all from the fact that this man wanted to fight like a man. And he never knew what Mr. Harrison had on his mind. That's why I say you have to be very, very careful and intentional about the things that you do. Sometimes we do things to where we don't even understand the consequences. And here it is, Mr. Scarzini and Mr. Campbell Mr. Scarzini spent over 17 months in the hospital for his tragic passing away. And Mr. Campbell spent 400 days, approximately 1 year and a week in the hospital before he succumbed to his subsequent injuries. This is a sad story. He was charged at the time with assault, but now he has been charged with 2 counts of murder. And this is a crazy, sad situation. Sometimes when we're young, we do things that we don't understand that could take our life away. Although Mr. Christopher Harrison wasn't right for what he did, you can't really tell a man how to defend himself. When one person seems as light and easy, the other person could seem is extremely serious. You feel me? So you have to be very careful and very aware of what you're getting yourself into out here. But if you made it this far, let me know what you think in the comments. If you made it this far, show some love and give me that sub. If you made it this far, like and share if you care. This is Me TV 1.0. The link to the Cash App is in the description. I appreciate all the views, all the love, all the subs. And I appreciate I'll be back with another one. You already know on Me TV 1.0. Yeah.